YouTube, what is going on, and welcome to another Pokemon Go video. And in this video I'm going to be explaining to you how to figure out how good of a Pokemon you have caught. So you're going to want to look up something called a Pokemon Go IV calculator or Pokemon Go IV something or other. You're going to want to look it up. You're going to want to find a website that is suitable for whichever product you're on. There are multiple websites, some for Android, some for iPhone, some for computers. So you're going to want to definitely find an IV calculator for Pokemon Go. They're going to ask you a couple of questions. They're going to first ask which your player level is. So as you can see, mine is 21. This is at least what most of them do. They're going to ask what the CP of the Pokemon is. They're going to ask what the HP of the Pokemon is, and they're also going to ask how much Stardust it does take to power up the Pokemon. And then the final thing they are going to ask you is if you ever have powered up your Pokemon since you've caught it. You're either going to check the box so you have or not check the box if you didn't have. And that's how you're going to figure out how good of a Pokemon you do have. You're going to see all these Pokemon that I do have right here. I have powered up some of these, like the Flareon I've powered up, the Pidgeot I've powered up, and this Pidgeot I've also powered up. But that makes a big impact in seeing how good of a Pokemon that you did catch. This Vaporeon, I did just evolve from an Eevee, and it's a very high percentage Eevee, and it turned into a very high percentage of Vaporeon, which was really solid for me. 1540 CP without ever powering it up is really solid, and that's how you can tell which one of your Pokemon are the best. You want Pokemon that are around 75 or higher percentile if you're going to evolve any of them, because if you're evolving a Pokemon that's lower than that, you're eventually going to catch a normal type Pokemon. So here's an example I'll give you. You find a Bellsprout that's at 500, let's say 510, and you evolve that into a Weepinbell, and that Weepinbell turns into a 616. But then a couple days later, you find another Bellsprout, but this one's 556. It's a much higher percentile, a higher CP, and CP always isn't the be-all, end-all when it does come to which Pokemon you are going to evolve the best. CP is a very good indicator of how you can tell which Pokemon is better. But you're also going to want to look at the moves that they do have. See, this Bellsprout is 544 CP and does have a worse special move. And you're also going to want to look at the HP, but the HP pretty much is the same to whichever CP is higher. But as I was saying earlier, you don't want to evolve a Bellsprout that's like a 510 CP when you're just going to catch a 556 CP Bellsprout a little bit later on before you can get the final evolution to a Bellsprout. So you're definitely going to want to check. And even if you found a Bellsprout that's around a 300 CP really early on in the game, it might be a really high Bellsprout, because I'm not sure if everybody knew this, but when you look at this Pidgeot was maxed out for me when I was at level 19, I do believe, and now I'm at level 21 and I can power him up again. I'm not sure if it's every level or every other level where you can power up your Pokemon, but even if your Pokemon is maxed out, if you go up a level, you can power it up one more time, I do believe, or every other level you can power it up one more time. So if you catch a 90 percentile Pokemon really early on in the game, you're going to want to figure out which one of your Pokemon that you still have is the best and power that one up all the way, because a 90 percentile Pokemon that you do power up all the way will be better than this Bellsprout if it's like an 80th percentile, because this is a very solid Bellsprout. I am waiting till I do get 125 Bellsprout candy and evolving my highest Bellsprout into a Weepinbell and then into a Victreebel. That's what I'm going to be doing, because this Bellsprout was a very high percentage, and I doubt I am going to get a higher percentage Bellsprout. And that's how you can tell which Pokemon you get is the highest level. And this Flareon was a very high percentage Pokemon before I did evolve it. And another Pokemon that is a very high percentage, I will go down to it right now for me. This Nidorina was, I think, an 84th percentile Pokemon. You want around 80 percentile to evolve them, and this one was a super high level Nidorina, so that's absolutely fantastic. Once I get 100 Nidoran female candy, I am definitely going to be evolving this into Nidoqueen. It should be absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping for around a 13 to 1400 Nidoqueen after this one is evolved, so that should be pretty awesome. And yeah, that will wrap it up for this video, basically explaining to you guys how to find which percentage of the Pokemon you are, and you want the highest percentage Pokemon to be evolving them so your third stage Pokemon is the best that it can be.